Hey guys, welcome back to another video at Linksy, and today we have a discussion video slash tip video slash just helping you out a bit with my limited but hopefully semi-decent experience of Warhammer Total War. So things first, right? A lot of times, even myself, I open up the screen here, I click in, we're like, what are we going to play? I find myself clicking on campaigns, new campaign, I go to Mortal Empires. I do enjoy Eye of the Vortex a lot as well, but I generally just automatically click Mortal Empires, continue, and then like, oh my god, there's so many. And then I scroll here, I click here or here, and I start playing. Because I always end up playing with Ikit Claw or with Trot. If I want something extra special, I click on Tyrion or Teclis, I click Mazdamundi or Gorok, sometimes Malekith, but oftentimes I don't choose the others that much. And there's a reason for it. Those are my favorites, right? And they were the ones that I am most comfortable with. However, it must be said that there's also another reason why I don't play that much with the others, is because I generally don't know much about them. So this is why I've been doing the faction focus. This is why I've been doing the early game guides, because I'm trying my best to play through at least 20 turns with every single faction and make sure that I am competent enough in that faction to understand what is going on. And I hope you guys check them out. I'll link some of the videos down below. I'll put the playlist link, and I think they're decent. And some of them are better than others. My favorite ones are definitely the Quick one and the Ikit Claw one. Put a lot of work into those, and I hope you enjoy them. But that said, when I start a new campaign with a faction which I'm not very familiar with, what do? What are the things that I need to look for? And what are the things that you guys should look for? And hopefully we'll get to discuss this together today. So I often play on Legendary on live stream, but when I start with a faction, unless I am doing it as a challenge, I don't really go on Legendary. I start with normal because I want to know what it does. So for example, something which I'm very much not familiar with is the Beastmen. I have yet to play a campaign with the Beastmen fully, and that's mostly because I am waiting for the Beastmen rework, which hopefully will happen very shortly. Their mechanics are very, very outdated, and same with Chaos, and same with Norska. They're the three factions which got the least love in the last 2 years or so. But let's say I want to start with the Beastmen. What do I need to look out for? Well, you need to look the faction ability. So let's pick Kazrak, right? He starts in Astalia. He is the Beastman Warhead, so they have the Dark Moon, they have the Beast Paths, and they are aggressive unit roster of fast-moving beasts and monsters. I'm like, okay, got you. So already it's very different from what I'm used to, because I'm used to, especially in Legendary, going for either full monster and full Treeman, full dragon, that kind of stuff, because they're easy to keep alive, or full missile units. And I know the Beastmen have really trash missile units. So the best thing with the Beastmen to do, the most affordable, at least with Kazrak, is to build Minotaur Doomstacks. Ideally, if you want to play the best Beastmen, from what I researched, is to go with Malagor, and you get the stinky pinky thingy, where you basically have a lot of debuffs to enemy leadership. So when you start a battle, the enemy leadership instantly collapses, and you win the fight without even having to fight, which is interesting, and it explains a lot about how strong, or in other cases weak, the Beastmen actually are. Especially now, since the backspace bug has been removed, they are very difficult to play. But that's fine. They still can be a ton of fun, especially when you get a full Minotaur Doomstack going on, the cows or Gorbals rushing through the snow of Bretonnian peasants. But yeah, so what I'm talking here is you need to look at the strengths and the weaknesses of each faction. The location is ridiculously important. Malagor starts in a really bad place. He starts in the Badlands, surrounded by a shit ton of battle-hungry orcs, whereas Kazrak starts in Astalia and he's hated by everyone there. If you pick, say, someone else, Leon Kerr, relatively easy start. He starts in Coron. In turn 1, you could easily have Marienburg in your clutches, and that is fantastic. That is not even very difficult strategy. It's just you can legitimately attack Marienburg turn 1 or turn 2 and take it for yourself, and you're going to have a really good army. Bretonia has lots of movement range. They have lots of different lords. They don't get supply lines, so they can spam armies with small amounts of units in each army. Their economy can spiral out of control into late game, especially if you manage to get super cheap or free even units in the campaign, which will absolutely change the way the game is played. And then when you've looked at these, you looked at what the potential is with each faction. You need to look at 3 main things, and I just mentioned it. The first one, economy. You want to know how your faction makes money. Bretonia makes money by expanding its farmsteads, has the peasant economy. The dwarves have a very slow moving economy, but eventually it spirals out of control, and they do so by gems cutters. They get the trinkets, they get all of these tool makers and things like that. If you look at the empire as well, it's basically just having a lot of settlements, and the more settlements you have, the bigger your economy gets, because they do get lots of buffs and boosts, and some of their lords and some of their heroes do give a really big boost to the economy in different areas. The High Elves, needs no introduction thanks to Legend and his strategy of spamming Entrepreneur, which you end up hundreds of thousands. The Dark Elves have the Slaves, and so on and so forth, right? But then after you look at that, you need to look at army composition, and you need to look at, and this is ridiculously important, how many times that army can fight in a single turn. Okay? And you're going to say, but what does that even mean, Linksy? So if you look at, let's say, Nagaron's Doomstack, which for most of the game is going to be Shades. You're going to have Reaper Bolt Throwers, and then you're going to have Mage, possibly a Fire Mage, and maybe a Master in the army, because Masters are very easy to get in with the Dark Elves, and that's going to be your army. Shades with great weapons, can do ridiculous amounts of damage. They have really good missile damage and really good melee damage. But realistically speaking, a Shade army can do maybe 2 or 3 fights per turn, and then it will need to replenish, and we'll get to replenishment in a second. And when you do 2 or 3 fights per turn, it gets kinda difficult, because especially on higher difficulties on Legendary, especially with Legendary Chaos Invasion, Malekith is gonna need to be able to do 4, 5, 6 battles per turn. Needs to gonna be killing 4 armies in each fight, because they're gonna be swarming him. So you need to think of, okay, how can I do this? There are, of course, you could put the Hydra Doomstack, but that is super expensive. And if you don't have the economy for it, you're going to suffer. You need to then find ways to use Lightning Strike. You need to find ways to, fight at your own pace. And that is something across all Total War battles, Total War campaigns, Total War games. You need to fight at your pace. You need to take control of the pace of the game. So let's say I'm going to jump in a campaign that I have running of Draika, and I'll discuss this replenishment and healing thing and being able to fight multiple times per turn in a much easier way. So what I was referring to is this campaign. This is the campaign I did on the live stream. I finished it, and I was playing it a little bit today when I got the idea for this. And my entire armies were basically just 3-men. And people were saying in the chat, but why are you just going 3-men? What's the point, They're gonna get damaged, and they are getting damaged, absolutely. But first things first, replenishment is absolutely insane now on the Wood Elves, so waiting over the end turn is fine. But even then, what I do have is I have these 3 branches of life, and that is in every fight these 3 men can heal up to 7,000 health. So if I have 4 or 5 battles over the end turn, that army can heal itself up over and over and over and over again, oftentimes ending the battle with more health than it starts with, and that gives me the ability to just hold against the endless waves. I mean, in this campaign I'm fighting the Empire and the Dwarfs, and they are controlling the entirety of the old world. These guys are going to start attacking me soon. Alt 1 is at war with me. All of a sudden they just joined war at me over the end turn. I didn't even realize. Everyone wants to kill me, and that's fine. I only have 4 armies right now. I'm recruiting again more armies because I did lose a few battles as I got a little bit overwhelmed as I went for Altdorf. But now Altdorf is controlled by Bretonia, and that's fantastic. Anyway, before I digress, the reason this campaign is not a disaster campaign is that, one, I have the money. I have just, for example, sacked Kazakh Karak for 35,000 gold, which is just absolutely insane. And then Draika, for example, her army, I can just go into the wild. I auto-resolve almost every battle, and then once in a while, when I see everything's low, I just start healing. And bam, she hits really well. Like if I attack this is a very small settlement. I just go in a corner, heal up Draika's army to full health, and then attack. I lost Kodal, but he'll show up again, and that's fine. I can just then run back to the Forest of Gloom, teleport back, and it's all good. Right? And that is just how it works, essentially. It's that you need an army that can essentially fight multiple times per turn. Now I'm going to jump in another campaign, which is my Trot campaign. And I'm going to... Where is my Trot campaign? This is my normal Trot campaign. Did I delete? No, there it is. My Legendary Trot campaign. And with the Trot campaign, it's a bit different. I can fight... and can hold off armies, but his army gets very, very easily damaged. He has a very strong, very powerful melee army that can do a crap ton of damage, true, but his units don't have replenishment. There's some regeneration, yes, but it's very limited. Okay, that guy goes there. Where is my trot boy? Where is my boy? My boy is here. So his army is really strong because it has really strong monsters, and it is able to, beat almost any other army in head-to-head comparison. Now, that said, the other thing, which is what I want to talk about, is the replenishment rate over the enter. Trot's replenishment rate is out of the fucking world. Like, it is insane. These guys would be almost dead, instantly full health. And if I need to get it even faster, I go to the laboratory and I get unclean energy, or I get harvest organs. And all of my monsters, which is what my army essentially is, boom, full health, 200% regeneration rate, replenishment rate. And this is something that you also need to keep in mind in your campaigns. There are always heroes that gives you extra replenishment. In this case, casualty replenishment rate for monsters, which is what I'm using, is higher with the Master Molder. There are other units that give you such things. I believe that in this case it would be the Plague Monks? I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But there are other heroes in different factions. For example, in the High Elves, that hero would be, and we're going to open up my High Elf save from Ariel's guide that I posted yesterday on how to settle in the first 4 turns. And those would be the Handmaidens of the Everqueen. They give you ridiculous replenishment, and if you have few of them going on, you can actually have your army instantly heal over the end turn. And I'm gonna also put another video soon, which is essentially a video on Doomstacks and why Doomstacks are Doomstacks and what could make a Doomstack essentially, as well as Doomstacks across different periods. First 5-6 turns. This is technically a Doomstack for turn 4 because it is very strong and can beat every army that you're going to encounter. That is what I would classify a Doomstack. But anyway, I digress. we're talking about Replenishment, she gets the ability to replenish troops, and you can get an additional 12% replenishment. I haven't filled it up because I didn't need it yet, but definitely will do, especially when we go into annoying territory which is not green, because territory that is orange or red does affect your replenishment. I hope that this helps a bit for you guys to understand how factions work out. It does take a little while to get used to it, to look at the roster, and that's why I really highly recommend, if you want to play a campaign, play on normal. If you're fighting that difficult, play on easy, and if you're struggling, just read up about it. Don't worry, it's fine. The first time I played a campaign, I got absolutely smashed. I had to play it on easy, and then the first time I finished the campaign, I believe it was on normal. And I think I still have the save file, and it's an absolute shit show of a campaign. No, I lost the save file because I changed my computer. That's fine. Sadness. Pure sadness. But damn, things change, and you adapt and you adjust, you learn new things, you learn how things work out, and that's how you get better at the game. Now, am I saying you should all be playing at Legendary? No, not at all. The game should be enjoyed at hard difficulty, because that is where you get a little bit of challenge, but at the same time, you also get that satisfaction that you're not smashing your head against a wall and just bleeding everywhere. Do people enjoy playing Legendary? Absolutely. Do I enjoy playing Legendary? Yes. I am a sadist, and I like to have a difficult, near impossible challenge. And it is fun. I am learning more about the game every day, and it is just absolutely crazy. If you want to learn how to play Legendary, I would really recommend you check out Legend of Total War streams, his guides and his tutorials. I do my own guides and tutorials as well. I haven't covered every faction. He definitely has. So if I haven't covered a faction, because I hope that you check out my videos if you're listening to this, check out Legends. He is just an absolute goldmine of information about the game. If you attend his live streams as well, you will get the chance to ask him questions, and he's often, unless he's in a really tight situation in the campaign, he will answer you and give you tips and tricks on how to do certain things. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a different video from what I usually do. It was more of a discussion slash chat. If you guys have any questions, please ask me down below. Ask me on Discord. More than happy to talk to you guys. There is definitely a lot we could learn about the game. The game is changing all the time. Things are adapting. New things are being implemented. We get new mechanics, and this is why it's fun, because it's not a static game. They are constantly injecting new content into Warhammer. They're fixing it, adapting it, upgrading it all the time. With that said, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a good day, and I shall see you tomorrow. If you guys are interested in seeing this on the day, tonight I'll be also live streaming. And yeah, take care and bye bye.